Hello YouTube, I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you are interested in purchasing my book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. So today I want to talk to you about a couple different things that have happened in our society that is completely against us. It's a conspiracy. All right, so I want to talk to you today about minimalism, the value of a small home, and why things are working against us. Where to start? So, when I moved back to California, a lot of people were saying, why would you move back to California? What you can buy in California, you can buy in Tennessee and get a 4,000 square foot house. Can I go hiking in the mountains? Like real mountains with waterfalls, glaciers, giant rocks? Can I go boulder hopping? Can I go rock climbing? Can I do that in Tennessee? Yeah, you might have to drive a few hours, several hours. But the value of a small house, no matter where you live, is really more than just the house itself. So if you're looking at older homes, let's say they're 60 years old or older. There's a lot of them, they're everywhere. You'll notice that these houses are typically around 1,250 square feet. And then the further back in time you go, the smaller the houses get, the smaller the bedrooms get. And if you look at new homes, I can attest to this, my house in Arizona versus my house here in California. So my Arizona house is a newer house, built in the 70s, about 50 years ago. So that's when, during about the 70s, that's when they started, don't be Bigfoot, please. Okay, we're good. Back in the 70s is when they started making the living area smaller, but the bedrooms bigger. So you've got a smaller living room, smaller kitchen, smaller dining area, but the bedrooms are bigger. This sort of forces families to spend, or not forces, but they want to spend more time in their bedroom and less time with their family, which is kind of weird, just my opinion. But you go back further in time, 1950s and before, the living area, like the living room, dining room, kitchen, is all bigger and the bedrooms are smaller. So this is a few different things. First of all, there weren't TVs and video games and computers back then. So people entertained themselves by talking to each other. Imagine that, it's crazy, right? They actually talk to each other. You know, the kids would come out, talk to their parents. How was your day at school? How was your day out in the fields, Dad? Did you see Grandpa? All that good stuff. And they really only went in their bedrooms to sleep. And some of the bedrooms back then were only 7 by 10. 7 feet by 10 feet. One of the bedrooms in my house is 8.5 by 12. I'm just like, man, that is really small. But, and I'm considering converting another room into a bedroom. But I don't even want to get into that. But, and you notice these types of things with the disintegration of the family. So we went from a society that believed in family, pride in your workmanship, work ethic. You would have dinner every night at 7. Mom would be cooking in the kitchen starting at 5. And you'd all go in and talk to each other. But the kids wouldn't be in their room before dinner. They'd be outside, talking to their friends, running down the street, all that fun stuff. And parents would say, come home when the lights turn on. I had a friend named Alex. Her dad told her, don't come home until the lights turn on. And then that's when she went home. But now we've got smaller living areas, bigger bedrooms. And then we've got our houses that were 1,000 square feet to anywhere from 1,000 to 1,400 square feet. Now we've got 2,500 square foot houses. I can't even imagine filling a space that big. People have my house has 3 closets in my bedroom. All my I don't even have enough to fill my closets. And I'm like, why would anybody have 3 closets in a bedroom? And the realtor was like, I don't know. I'm like, me neither. I don't have enough stuff. But that was an add-on. That wasn't an original. And this has, decimated our ties with our family. Now, we also have the government come in and offer anyone who can't support themselves, they'll support you. Which to those of us, I'll be honest, to those of us who do support ourselves through hard work, work ethic, working 2 jobs for 20 years, just so we can afford food and lights, I get a little peeved. I get a little peeved at those people who have 6 kids and they only pay $100 in rent and they have free food stamps. Now, I'm not as upset at them specifically. I would say I'm jealous, not about the discounted rent because I pay for my houses in cash, but hey, and their food stamps are like $280 per person. I spend $100 a month, if that. And I'm like, I would be so fat if I got $280 in food stamps. I'd be steak, lobster, mashed potatoes and gravy. Pour more on there. Give me some green beans. Oh yeah, Stouffer's lasagna. Oh, give me some Ghirardelli chocolate caramel squares. I want like 20 of them. No, just 30. Make it 30. I want 30 of those. We're having a barbecue this weekend. Barbecue at Prepper Princess. And they get free medical. I don't have medical right now. It's $517 a month. That is more than all of my bills combined. All of them. So I'm technically living on like $500 a month right now. And it's not that I can't afford the $500. It's almost like a principle thing. Like, why does this family of 4 get to pay $100 a month because the husband only wants to work part-time and the wife doesn't want to work, while I have to pay $517 for one person? $100 for 4 people. That should be $25 per person. I'll pay $25. I'll pay $25 a month. But if I'm paying $500, I'm paying 20 times more. 20 times more than someone who is getting government assistance. So it's a principle of the thing. And I get upset. But with all of these changes that happened to the houses, and then credit cards came into play in the 80s. I mean, they were there before then, but they started becoming more popular in the 80s. It was okay for people to get into debt and just make a payment, which led to not only poor, but rich people as well, buying things that they couldn't afford and just making payments. But here's the problem. Bobby Sue next door just got a new car and he's poor, but I'm rich. He can't have that. So I'm going to go out and buy a better car. Some people call that keeping up with the Joneses. That's just the way that the consumerism has worked in America. It's the natural order of things. And the people who can't take care of themselves, excuse me for a second here, who can rely on the government, no longer have to rely on their family to take care of them. So guess what? We don't have to be nice anymore. No, I don't have to be polite to my neighbor Because if I run out of food, I don't have to go ask him for a cup of flour or a couple pancakes or some oranges from his tree. I don't have to ask him. I can just go to the government and they'll give it to me for free. And I don't have to ask nicely to them either. They have to give it to me because now it's the law. And this has led to a complete erosion of society. People are meaner, so mean, because they don't have to rely on their family or their neighbors to live. Back in the day, there was no such thing as disability, social security, social networks, safety nets, food stamps, EBT cards. You were lucky if you went to a food bank and you would get a bowl of soup, waiting in line for 8 hours. But now you go to a food bank and they just fill up your car. You don't even have to talk to them. Just open your trunk and it's full, magically, of food. I'm going to be honest, I've seen people go to the food bank and we were just driving in the same direction. And right after they left the food bank, they went to Taco Bell drive-thru. That's not everyone. But it's funny how every single time I happen to be driving in the same direction as somebody, they're going somewhere that costs money. But this is how our society has eroded. Now, I'm not a conservative. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I believe that everyone should have free medical care. And our government should be smart enough. If we're smart enough to vote them into office, they should be smart enough to figure out how to get us free medical care without increasing our taxes. We're already taxed on everything. Property tax, income tax, sales tax, bridge tolls, capital gains tax, inheritance tax, everything. You're taxed on everything, and sometimes more than once. Get it together, government. But the government, I think, has purposefully eroded the nuclear family to rely on them more, because the more the government is relied on, the more power they have. And now we're at a 50-50 point. We're at 50-50. 50% of people work, 50% of people don't. So let's say you have me running for president, and I say, okay, guys, I'm going to balance your budget. I'm going to have, within my 4-year term, I'm going to have an excess of money. We're going to be completely out of debt, all 23 trillion as I write this or make this. But it's going to be more. Inflation's going to stop. But here's what's going to happen. All non-essential government personnel is going to be terminated. Social Security, disability, food stamps, HOA, housing, Section 8. It's all going to stop for 4 years. What do you think society would do if 50% of those people have trained themselves to rely on the government to survive? Complete chaos. The United States would burn to the ground in 4 years. The economy would collapse. Everybody would be in the streets rioting, stealing from their neighbors, because pride in yourself has eroded. The reliance on family has completely eroded. And people are mean. They don't know how to talk to each other anymore. And the government did that on purpose. I think I just went on a rant. How many miles am I at? Hold on. 3.5 miles. I still have 1.5 miles to go. Okay. Okay, so what was my initial subject on this video? Small houses. The importance of small houses. Not only do small houses give you smaller bills, smaller electric, gas, property tax, less cleaning, less maintenance, less appliances you need in order to keep it maintained and clean, less cleaning powders and solutions and mixes that you need to keep your house clean, less repairs that need to be done, less plumbers that need to be called, less roofing that needs to be replaced, less cars to drive. I'm actually thinking of getting rid of my car. I really am. I have my electric bike, and now that I'm walking everywhere, no, I can't get rid of my car. And here's why. The grocery stores in the town that I live in are like 3 times more expensive than if I drive a little while to get to Winco. So I still need, and to visit my family, of course. But anyway, not only do you have that, having a smaller house forces you to go out. It forces back that nuclear family energy. It forces you to, if you don't, if you have a TV, you're probably going to be sitting in your living room. But if you just, make a change, you say, okay, for 1 week, no TV or internet in the house. You can go out with your friends and watch TV at their house. You can go out to the movies. You can go use their internet, but you can't use it in this house for 1 week. I bet you the house will be empty. People are going to be at their friends' houses playing video games, using their hoverboards, roller skating, rollerblading, having a blast. So I think that, and I had a big house in my previous California house. It was just me, well, and my ex, but 1,500 square feet plus a 500 square foot garage. And then I moved to Arizona, 900 square foot and a 100 square foot garage. Now I'm not telling you, sorry. I don't want people looking up the square footage of my house and where I live and all that stuff. If you find it, you find it. There's nothing I can do about it, but I don't want to make it easier for you to find me. I think I'm lost. Oops. Oh well. I'm on a road. Well, I'll be fine. Oh gosh, 17 minutes of me talking. And I haven't seen anybody out here. There's nobody here. Why is there nobody here? Perfect example. I'm the only one out here on this beautiful sunny day with greenery and trees and gorgeousness. And there's nobody here. Look at that. Nobody here. So pretty. All right, folks, I'm going to stop rambling because I don't even know if I made any sense. And honestly, I've already forgotten what I said. The importance of a smaller house is so that you don't stay inside and you go outside and you learn to help your neighbors, rely on your neighbors, community, light and love, and don't rely on somebody else to take care of you. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out.